something that you are always habitual about. Is that the word? Okay. Another question is that people always ask, is addiction only about drugs and alcohol? Or can someone be addicted to other things? Sir, so tell me about that.
No, addiction is not only about drug and alcohol. A person can be addicted to a certain substances or certain behavior, just as gambling, gaming, social media, food, etc.
Okay, Mr. Chinonso, are you trying to tell us that addiction is not only about drugs? It also has to do with behaviors? Okay. So today we know that addiction does not only have to do about drugs. It always has to be do with behavior. Behavior like gambling, watching pornography and other things are also a habit of addiction. So what are some common addiction among young people today? What do you think are some common addiction among young people today? Ms. Fortune, can you tell us about that?
Yes, young people today can struggle with both substance and behavioral addiction. Some common ones are social media addiction, alcohol addiction, nicotine addiction, drug addiction, and pornography addiction.
Okay, so you're telling us that addiction also deals with both your behavior. That young people also suffer with behavioral addiction. Okay, thank you very much. How do people become addicted? Let's know the causes. Why? Like, why do people become addicted? You should know.
People become addicted for many different reasons. Usually, it's a combination of factors rather than the same cause. People become addicted due to curiosity and experimentation, peer pressure, stress, emotional problem, family influence, repeated use, lack of support.
Okay, so peer pressure can be something that makes people addicted. Loneliness also. So when somebody is lonely and starts doing something, it's become alive. Okay, thank you very much. How do peer pressure, pain, loneliness, or stress contribute to addiction?
Peer pressure, pain, and loneliness can increase the risk of addiction because they can influence how a person thinks, feels, and makes decisions. One that if you have the smokers as friends, you can't tell him what to do because the friends you keep determines who you will be.
That's about the peer pressure. What's about the pain?
Some people think, just like for drug addiction, some people just think anyone that pain they used to take some alcohol or drug and taking it regularly makes them sweet and that becomes addiction.
Okay, what about loneliness? When you're alone, can't you think about something creative other than other behavioral addiction?
Yeah, that's for people that are not in Christ. When they are lonely, you can't be lonely when you're in Christ. That's why we say addiction when you're in Christ. Because you can't be in Christ and be lonely. So for those that are not in Christ, that don't know the doctrine, when they are lonely, they feel like they need to take one or two to be themselves.
Now, can Christians struggle with addiction? Even when they say Christians are trying to struggle, can they also struggle with addiction?
Yes, Christians can struggle with addiction. Being a Christian does not mean the person will never fight temptation, harmful habit, dispenser. The Bible teaches in James 1 verse 14 that each person is tempted when they are drunk.
Okay? So what does the Bible teach about self-control and addiction? Because the Bible has something to tell us about self-control and addiction. So what is that?
The Bible teaches us about self-control and addiction. And because it is an important part of Christian living and walking is allowing everything to become our master. While the Bible does not use the model of addiction in the same way we would feel, it teaches us strengthening and address self-control, drunkenness, dependency, freedom from harmful habits. We should practice self-control. Galatians chapter 5 verse 23. It says self-control as one of the fruit of the Spirit. Okay, now we're talking about self-control. Also in a situation that someone doesn't have self-control as one of the attributes. How do you understand addiction? In a situation, you just talk about self-control, right? And there are some Christians that do not have self-control. Yes, there are some Christians today that are moving that do not have self-control. They don't have the power to hold something. Even if when God told them that we should not allow something to take dominion over us. There are some people that self-control is addiction. And how do you know this? Okay, so leading a person to Christ can help the person with self-control.
Yes. You say there are Christians that lack self-control. I don't think that's true. Because every Christian should know the Bible. We have churchgoers and we have Christians. So people that lack self-control, they should be the unbelievers that just come to the church. But as for self-control, people that lack self-control, the way we can make them to get themselves back, the Bible uses self-control instead of addiction as at that time. So we are talking about people that are addicted to things now. So making them to come back to Christ, we'll have to bring the gospel to them, tell them the scriptures, that is using fellowship to build them back to Christ and obey ourselves.
So, how can a person's relationship with God help them overcome addiction? How can a person's relationship with God help them overcome addiction? Someone who has a relationship with Christ and is addicted, how can a person overcome it?
A person's relationship with God can be an important source of strength, hope, guidance, and accountability when overcoming addiction. It doesn't mean one should avoid professional help and treatment. Faith and treatment works together. So while living with God, you should also seek advice from people you see. Don't hide it from other people. You should express how you feel to others so they can help you out.
Okay. What role will prayer and Bible study and fellowship play in the recovery? What role will prayer and Bible study and fellowship play in recovery? Let's cover that. What role will prayer and Bible study and fellowship play in recovery? You know, we talk about prayer and Bible study. Now, what role do they take in the recovery of someone who is addicted?
Prayer and Bible study play a role in recovery by helping the person which is addicted, like the spiritual life, to get stronger. For example, somebody that is struggling with drugs, prayer and Bible study helps the person stay way away from drug addiction.
What about the person who doesn't want prayers? Because there are some people that went to our Bible, okay, let's say Bible study. There are some people that went to our Bible study. It's a very hard situation. They can't live with it. They are not ready to discuss the Bible. How can we help this?
Being the person that wants to combat this person that is addicted to drugs, we put that person into prayer. Number one, pray for the person to stay away from the drug. Through our own faith, the person is going to come to Christ and is going to recover.
Okay. Can someone completely recover from addiction? And a person completely recover from addiction?
Yes, people can recover from addiction and go on with healthy life. Fulfilling, can go on with healthy life and fulfilling lives. Recovery doesn't always mean that the person will never experience cravings again. It means learning to manage triggers, make the way down, make good choices.
Okay? So you're trying to tell us that someone can completely recover from addiction.
Yes.
Can an unbeliever completely recover from addiction? You're trying to tell me that he can recover from addiction, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, what are the practical steps one should, the practical step, what practical steps should a person take if they want to break? What steps should they take? Like, I want to break from the start to the beginning. What steps should I take?
Number one, they should embrace Christ. They should always read the Bible.
They should embrace Christ. Like, they need to see Christ and embrace it. How do they embrace Christ?
They embrace Christ by always praying. Number two, by reading the Bible and having faith in Christ.
So these are the steps that one should take to break free, right? How can the church support people who are battling addiction without judging them? You know, there are some certain people who are good at judging people. Now, how can the church, we the church, how do we support those people who are battling addiction without judging them, without judging them, judging the lifestyle? How can we support? How can we support?
Okay. Churches can support these things by providing non-judgmental spaces for people battling with addiction, where they can begin to acknowledge their crisis and suffering, share it with people they trust, share it with people they trust, supporting coping strategies. Also, using empathetic words like, I'm sorry you're going through this, or it's understandable how it feels overwhelmed. That can validate the person's emotion, making them come back to Christ.
Without judging them, right? Okay. How can parents help protect their children from addiction?
Parents can play a huge role in protecting their children from recovering from addiction. The goal isn't to control everything in a child but to create a safe environment where they can ask questions and get help.
Like, can I say steps? Can you just like if was step outline ways like a parent can protect their children from addiction? Because now even in the internet, children see what happens online and what's popular lifestyle. What are like in this situation, how do you help the children?
By counseling,
Okay.
parents can as well seek their children and whether a boy or a girl and tell them on the kind of friends they follow, the environment, the kind of environment they stay, the kind of friends they follow, that's the preference.
So even awareness, creating awareness can also help in that, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. What advice would you give to young people who are facing peer pressure?
I'm going to advise that they should, young people who are facing pressure should avoid but creating social situations and seek new friends with shared respect for reasonable moral values. Also, they should know their values. A good friend who's expected to do something wrong before accepting them. They should also know that it's good to like they should know their values.
Okay, just like we said that good communication corrupts, bad communication corrupts good man, right? Okay, do you have something to say about that? Okay. What makes it a hope you have with someone who is struggling with addiction? A person who is struggling with addiction, what is the message of hope you have for them?
You are not alone and your addiction does not define you. You may have tried to stop several times and failed. You may feel ashamed and guilty or hopeless, but your story is not over. Recovery is possible. Even if the journey takes time, do not be afraid to ask for help. Talk to someone you trust, a parent, a friend, a pastor, a counselor, or even a doctor, or any other person you feel can support you. You do not have to fight for this battle by yourself. If you believe in God, take your struggle to Him honestly. You can pray for strength.